23. The Trunk of the Olive Tree. Great-hearted Odysseus, home at last, was being bathed out now by Eurynome, and rubbed with golden oil, and clothed again in a fresh tunic and a cloak. Athena lent him beauty, head to foot. She made him taller and massive too, with crisping hair and curls like petals of wild hyacinth, but all red golden. Think of gold infused on silver by a craftsman, whose fine art Hephaestus taught him, or Athena, one whose work moves to delight. Just so she lavished beauty over Odysseus's head and shoulders. He sat then in the same chair by the pillar, facing his silent wife, and said, "Strange woman, the immortals of Olympus made you hard, harder than any. Who else in the world would keep aloof as you do from her husband if he returned to her from years of trouble, cast on his own land in the 20th year? Nurse, make up a bed for me to sleep on. Her heart is iron in her breast." Penelope spoke to Odysseus now. She said, "Strange man, if man you are, this is no pride on my part, nor scorn for you, not even wonder, merely. I know so well how he appeared boarding the ship for Troy, but all the same. Make up his bed for him, Euryclea. Place it outside the bedchamber, my lord, built with his own hands. Pile the big bed with fleeces, rugs, and sheets of purest linen." With this, she tried him to his breaking point, and he turned to her in a flash, raging. So, real quick, Odysseus here is annoyed because he's been waiting to reunite with Penelope, and she is being very cold to him. She's kind of challenging, "Are you really him? Could you be somebody else in disguise?" And she's just being really hesitant. And so she says, "Take our bed, and put it in the hall." And there's something to this. So, she's kind of testing him. So he starts raging and he says, "Woman, by heaven, you've stung me now. Who dared to move my bed? No builder had the skill for that, unless a god came down to turn the trick. No mortal in his best days could budge it with a crowbar. There is our pact and pledge, our secret sign built into that bed, my handiwork and no one else's." An old trunk of olive grew like a pillar in the building plot, and I laid our bedroom round that tree, lined up with stone walls, built the walls and roof, gave it a doorway and smooth fitting doors. Then I lopped off the silvery leaves and branches, hewed and shaped the stump from the roots up into a bedpost, drilled it, let it serve as a model for the rest. I planned them all, inlaid them with silver, gold, and ivory, and stretched a bed between. A pliant web of oxhide thongs dyed crimson. There's our sign. I know no more. Could someone else's hand have sewn that trunk and dragged the frame away? Their secret. As she heard it told, her knees grew tremulous and weak. Her heart failed her. With eyes brimming tears, she ran to him, throwing her arms around his neck and kissed him. So basically, Odysseus had built this bed in their bedroom around an old olive tree branch or stump or trunk that was growing through the house. And so when she said that she was going to have it moved, he gets frustrated because he's like, "Hey, how could the bed be able to be moved? It's built around this tree that the whole house is built around." And so she was testing him because nobody else knew what their bed looked like or how it was built. And so, based on his reaction, his anger that his bed had been moved, she knows that it is indeed him. So now that she knows, she murmurs to him. She says, "Do not rage at me, Odysseus. No one ever matched your caution. Think what difficulty the gods gave. They denied us life together in our prime and flowering years, kept us from crossing into age together. Forgive me. Don't be angry. I could not welcome you with love on sight. I armed myself long ago against the frauds of men, impostors who might come, and all those many who underhanded ways bring evil on. Helen of Argos, daughter of Zeus and Leda, would she have joined the stranger, lain with him, if she had known her destiny, known the Achaeans in arms would bring her back to her own country? Surely a goddess moved her to adultery, her blood unchilled by war and evil coming, the years, the desolation, ours too. But here and now, what sign could be so clear as this of our own bed? No other man has ever laid eyes on it, only my own slave, Actress, that my father sent with me as a gift. She kept our door. You make my stiff heart know that I am yours. Now from his breast upon his eyes the ache of longing mounted, and he wept at last, his dear wife, clear and faithful in his arms, longed for as the sun-warmed earth is longed for by a swimmer, spent in rough water where his ship went down under Poseidon's blows, gale winds and tons of sea. Few men can keep alive through a big surf to crawl, clotted with brine on kindly beaches, in joy, knowing the abyss behind. And so she too rejoiced, her gaze upon her husband, her white arms round him pressed, as though forever.